What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So you saw the title. Now this is, in my opinion, the 10 best designers released in 2024. Now, there is another tier to this because we've had a ton of great designer releases this year. So there's another, I believe it's going to be 15, a separate video. So if your favorite's not in my favorite 10, it might be in my next tier down because there's like 25 total that were like really noteworthy this year. 10 that I think are the best of what was released, and 15 that I think is that next tier of these are like great and deserve spotlight to be talked about. So this is the 10 best. Within the next few days after this, the 15 great tier will come out. So remember that. Keep that in mind. And even though I just said all of that, keep an eye on the comment section. It's hilarious how just nobody has an attention span and pays attention. We're talking about these 10. Stay tuned. Now this came out towards the beginning of the year. I bought a lot of stuff from this brand this year. We're talking Carolina Herrera, and in my opinion, this was one that started the year off right for us. This is bad boy Cobalt Elixir. So, they don't list the plum from the original. I smell plum. Cacao sweetness from the original. Actual original bad boy, not just bad boy Cobalt. As well as some earthier tones. It's very ambery. There's even a little bit of a smoky nuance to this one. This is absolutely rich and stunning when it comes to sweet fragrances. If you like sweet designers, this is cream of the crop for what was released this particular year as far as the sweet designers. There's a few others that are sweet designers here, but this is like, man, this is the one. This is it. If you like the original Cobalt, you're bound to love Cobalt Elixir. Obviously no guarantees there, but great performer, high compliment factor type of stuff. Not the most versatile thing because it's a warm, sweet fragrance. Obviously better for cooler weather, date nights, evenings out and stuff like that, but a great release nonetheless. It's bad boy Cobalt Elixir. Now, I think this was a phenomenal addition to the Acqua di Gio line. This is Acqua di Gio's Profondo Parfum. Profondo Parfum, really, really good stuff. Ambery aquatic is the way I've been describing the olfactive profile. Now, I have seen some feedback where people have complained that the loss of the mineral notes and dialing back the greenery, they don't like it as much. And hey, I get it. The original's great. Honestly, when it comes to the greenery, Profondo Lights is better than the original, personally. But the way this was smoothed out, slightly warmed up, kind of refined, aquatic, if you will, I just think it's magnifique. Chef's kiss kind of stuff, long-lasting, not overwhelmingly strong, radiates off the skin nice and consistently. People will smell you. You won't overwhelm them when you get, within a few feet. And it's a great wearing experience overall. If you want an aquatic that's going to do great in the cooler weather, oh buddy, the warmth of this really kind of hits it out the park. What a great release, in my opinion. This came out earlier in the year. They did re-release Profondo and relabeled it as an eau de parfum. That one's pretty much the same as the original, just slightly fresher. But for me, this Profondo Parfum flanker, what a great release. And it's Acqua di Gio Profondo Parfum. Now, as far as this next one, yes, I added some more lighting. I wasn't happy with what I was seeing. So a little bit darker than I would have liked. So as far as this, every single release is good to me because I love this particular line. Now, this is definitely the spiciest, not as much as tobacco as the name would make you think, but it's Emporio Armani's Stronger With You Tobacco. Another great release in this line. Some people will say Absolutely is the best. Some people will say Intensely is the best. I personally think Leather is the best. You can't go wrong with any of them. You really can't. Stays true to the DNA, has that cinnamon spice. There's other spices here as well. It's got more of a red pepper spice to it as well. That roasted chestnut feel. You don't get that toffee sweetness from Intensely. It's not near as sweet as some of the others. But it does have that sweetness nonetheless. A slight earthy tone. That's this tobacco accord they created. It's warm. It's great for the cool. It's great for the cool. Daytime. You can rock this one for dinner dates, obviously, but daytime in the cold weather, that's really how I'm looking to wear this. It's how I wore it when I first got it. Now I've got cooler weather again. It slots right back into the rotation. It's just a phenomenal offering. They just continue to hit one after another over the fence, in my opinion. I think they can do no wrong in this line. The closest thing to underwhelming was Strong With You Only, and even then, it's still just a slightly fresher take, and it's pretty good. Another line that's just loaded with great fragrances, and this is nothing short of great in this line, in my opinion. Strong With You Tobacco. I just revisited this one this past week just to refresh my memory to make sure, yeah, that's going in the 10 best, the best of the best designers this year. It is from Zadig and Voltaire. This is really him. And it is. This is really him. This is him's phenomenal. You smell that. You take Parfums de Marly Altaire's DNA, that vanilla wood orange blossom profile. You add some metallic notes. You get this. The color's fitting. It gives this kind of gray aluminum type of thing because of the metallic notes. It's so good. It's so good. Honestly, I would take this over Altair. I would take this over This Is Him. And it smells like a hybrid of the two. Like I said, plus metallic notes. This is so good. Super woodsy, creamy vanilla, a touch of powder, nice and metallic, a little hit of citrus early on, a light spice. I don't go nose blind to this one. I live in this sillage for hours and hours. It's constantly letting me know it is here. It is very present. It radiates off of my skin. This is some strong stuff. I wouldn't quite call it a beast, but it's definitely very strong and well above average in all of the performance subcategories. This is absolutely worth checking out. Even if you have This Is Him, of course, there's slight redundance to it, but this is Him with so much more layers added to it. It is, in my opinion, in every way, a superior fragrance and one of the best designers this year. Zadig and Voltaire, this is really him. I've been singing the praises of this fragrance since the moment I got it. I wanted to get this one, but I hadn't bought the original two, so I bought them all together. The EDT, the Le Parfum, and the Absolu. And the Absolu, king of this mountain when it comes to Jean-Paul Gaultier Scandal. Scandal Absolu is the one. This has a rich honeyed-like sweetness to it. I do get a little bit of florals here, slight earthy floral smell that they don't really list. Some woods, obviously it's got all of the sweetness of the original, but it's a smoother fragrance. That's always a big deal for me when it comes to these designers. You give me the smooth version, that's going to be my favorite one every time. And it is so rich and smooth. It doesn't have any of those rough edges. I mean, here's another prime example. Smooth. You just heard me singing the praises of this one. The next one we're about to talk about, it's a Parfum flanker. It's smooth. When it comes to designers, give me the Parfums. Even if it's not a true Parfum and they're marketing it as a Parfum and it's really just a higher EDP, give me the smooth. And this is the smooth. If you like sweet fragrances, you have to like the sweet designers for men. Some guys have convinced themselves that a sweet designer is a feminine fragrance, and I feel sorry for them. They're missing out on smelling great and having their woman wanting to hang off of their neck the whole time. Because not every woman wants you to smell like their uncle and their grandfather all the time, guys. Sometimes you can get away from the fougères and the barbershop fragrances. I love them too, but it ain't the end-all be-all. Let's step forward. It's not the 80s anymore. Let's take a step forward and expand our horizons a little bit, because there's some good shit out there. I'm not saying you need to try it. I'm saying just give it a chance, because you never know what you come across, because this stuff is absolute banger status, especially if you like a honey-rich sweetness. And it's Scandal Absolu. We finally got to it. Haven't worn it in a little bit, but I still feel the same. The highlight reel of the Paco Rabanne Invictus line, Invictus Parfum. Smells like the salty ambery tone of Legend, the sweet bubble gum aquatic of the original, a little bit of vanillic sweetness of the Victory flankers. Of course, you get some fruitiness that you can tie to Platinum. And then, like, the biggest thing, obviously the aquatic tones you can tie to all the versions of Acqua. But this black soap accord they give does give a little bit of this, like, dark soapy feel to it. Almost like a charcoal bar of soap. Yeah, like mixing that with Invictus and Invictus Legend. Because I think Invictus and Invictus Legend are the two profiles you can smell the most here, at least for me. A lot of people told me they get a lot of Victory Elixir when it dries. For me, a little bit. Some will it may just be me, and some do definitely get a lot more. You never know. We all, different noses, different skin. It's different. But this is so good. This is so good. This is, if I imagine what Invictus Parfum would be, I don't think I would have cooked up this profile. But I'm so glad it's not what the expectation I would have had for it to be. I'm glad it's what it is because it's not too redundant to having the others. While you smell elements of all of them, it doesn't smell like any one particular one. I've seen a lot more people relate it to Legend, but I guess people are forgetting just how frickin' sea salt dominant Legend is. That's one of the more salty bay leaf amber fragrances I've ever smelled. It's incredible. It is a Legend. It's named appropriately. But I would say this isn't near as salty, especially with the balancing of that like charcoal bar soap, that black soap accord that they put here. Great performance, lasts a long time. It's not obnoxiously loud like some of the Invictus fragrances can be. This one's nice and smooth compared to the others. I'm a big fan. It's Invictus Parfum. Do you like chocolate? Do you like A Men? You'll probably like A Men Fantasm. I think it's clearly one of the best designers of the year. And I'm not a big gourmand guy. Certain ones do it for me. This one you get a like rich chocolate accord plus the patchouli. You get a smoky spicy element added to this. Again, those that like the sweet fragrances. And there's some earthiness going on here. There's some orientals. It's a little resinous. So it's not, you can't tell me this one's feminine and it's based around chocolate. You know? Oh my. And the bottle looks cool. Love that almost, you know, semi-glossed silver with the matte black rubberized bottle. I've always liked the bottles. I think it's wild to cut this. Just find the pressure point. It's not that hard. Find the pressure point. Still have Invictus on the hand too. I just radiating off my hand. Loaded with great designers in this video, guys. I'm so excited to do this video. I've been kind of talking about it randomly throughout the year as I get different ones. Like, all right, this one might be in it. All right, this might push something else out. And a lot of that stuff has happened. But from the moment I smelled this, Randy, fragrance dude here on YouTube, had sent me a decant of, and I just had to have it. As soon as I got an opportunity to get a bottle at a few bucks off, I bought it from Fragrance Buy. I grabbed this. It is that good. It's definitely a cooler weather fragrance, but I don't feel like you have to just wear it for dinner dates and evenings out. If you like the sweeter stuff during the day, which I do, totally works. Again, dark, rich chocolate, earthy patchouli, smoky, spicy, oriental elements to it. It's just a beautiful flanker. I'm so glad they're adding to the A Men line. What a great showing this year with the A Men Fantasm. And finally, the big three. The big three is no surprise. If you watch this channel on a regular basis, if you are in my live streams, you 100% know what these three are. Starting with what was the one to beat. In the beginning of the year, this was my best designer released until further notice. And eventually further notice rolled around. But Boss the Scent Elixir. Hugo Boss has been on a tear the last couple of years with the Boss Bottled and Boss the Scent lines, and they did it again. I do believe this is the best Boss the Scent fragrance. I said the same thing last year about Boss the Scent Magnetic. I was like, this is the best one. Then they followed it up with, okay, no, this is the best one. Red pimento spice, a little woodsy, and the Manenka fruit here gives this booziness to it. It's not just your typical sweet fruity Manenka that you get in the line all the time. That is there, but it comes across to me a little warm and boozy. And it is an absolute home run of a fragrance. Man, it's so good. It's almost like Boss the Scent Absolute mixed with Spice Bomb Infrared. That pimento spice that's in there, that red peppered spice. It is so, so, so good. If you have yet to smell this, oh my, are you missing out. Sweet, spicy, woodsy, ambery, a little boozy and fruity. And the sweetness is the fruitiness. It's not over the top like vanillic or candy sweetness. Such a great fragrance. A phenomenal performer. Just please get your nose on it. It is that good. Boss the Scent Elixir. So with number 2 and number 1, I keep calling them 1A and 1B. This is really good. I was a big fan of Gentleman's Society. Then I got my nose on Gentleman's Society Extreme. Everything that was good about that one, creamy, warm, smooth, all the different woody nuances are here that were there. But you get a light roasted coffee bean in the background, a rich vanilla dry down, and some waxy iris and peppered spice in the opening with all that smorgasbord of woody nuance. This, banger's not a good enough word. It's not. It's almost the perfect designer fragrance for somebody that likes woody florals. If If you like iris and you like the woody side of the profile, like the ones that feature a lot of woody notes, this is it. This is the top of that mountain. So good. And I've had people tell me, oh, but eventually it dries down into just a wood and vanilla. I mean, yeah, eventually it will. All of the real magic, the nuance, the layers to it, it's the first few hours. That's most fragrances, especially from a designer. I feel like you get more nuance out of this than you would out of any other designer you're getting for $90 for 100 ml from a discounter. You know, not too many designers will give you what this one's giving you. And that's where I got soft clap. Kudos to Givenchy. They continue to put out phenomenal flankers in the gentleman line. It's nothing short of amazing, especially if you're a fan of iris. This is a must-try fragrance line for you. You should absolutely do it. Do it. Just do it. Do it.
Just do it!
Try this. Gentleman Society Extreme. And last but not least, seems to be more of a hot take lately because I've been seeing more negative feedback when all I saw before was praise. So some of the negative feedback managed to trickle through, but that's fragrance. That's art. People interpret it differently. Not everybody thinks it's designer of the year, but boy, do a lot of people. Boss Bottled Absolu. Again, Hugo Boss is on their shit. Hugo Boss gets a soft clap as well. We got Triumph Elixir earlier this year. That had to get bumped. That was a good release. That could have went here. This is better. I didn't want to put two Boss Bottled flankers. We got Boss Bottled Elixir prior to that, and then Boss Bottled Parfum even before that. And I'm a fan. That earthy green leather iris fragrance, it got critical acclaim, and I think pretty damn good, honestly. They've been on a tear with these two lines, and the Boss Bottled line specifically has been the bright spot for men's fragrance out of Hugo Boss. This is resinous, warm, rich, smoky, spicy, creamy sweet as it dries, a little hint of boozy accord. I don't remember boozy notes in here, but it's kind of a slight boozy accord. Warm and ambery. The quality here is not what you expect for it to be in this bottle. It's got elements of like Parfums de Marly Carlisle, meets a little bit of Spice Bomb, meets Boss Bottled Elixir. It nuances pretty well. It's very rich. It's a robust fragrance, thick. It wears a little heavy, but it's so intoxicating. A great performer. It smells like it could be in a niche bottle. Just does. What a great fragrance. Get out and try it. You can get it from discounters online for a great price. I paid like $65 for this 50 ml from, like a month and a half after it released. You can find them cheaper already than paying retail. And for me, hands down, that's why it ended up being number one, even though I call these 1A and 1B. When I really sat here to organize them, the last had to be him. Because this is him. I know we talked about this is really him, but this is really him. Boss Bottled Absolu, Designer of the Year. Well, that's my 10. Again, we will have another tier that's about 15 fragrances. I have to calculate it all up, but I believe it's going to be about 15 fragrances. That's kind of the great fragrance release tier. These are the best. These are the ones that, if a few of them could have interchanged with some of these, but gun to my head, this had to be my 10. And we've got some more very impressive releases. Some of your favorites may be in that video, so be on the lookout. It will come out a few days after this video, just to spread them a little bit, because it is a best of designer series for this year. They're extremely relatable topics, just with different picks completely, but the topic is almost identical. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for watching. Check out the links below if you want to get any of these. I'll catch you guys on the next one.